Now we're going to look at the semicolon. This is the punctuation mark that has a period balancing on top of a comma. With this mark, we return to the idea of creating a pause in the text, a time when the reader can draw breath. The pause here is somewhere between a comma and a period. I'm going to continue giving example sentences to reveal some of the uses of the semicolon, and again the sentences relate to Peaky Blinders. I have 4 distinct uses to go through today. So number 1. Peaky Blinders is excellent. I have watched all 4 seasons. This is a classic example of a comma splice, a type of run-on sentence in which 2 independent clauses are incorrectly separated simply with a comma. As we've seen previously, we could join 2 independent clauses with a comma and a coordinating conjunction, but not with only a comma. An alternative way, and the one we're looking at today, is to separate the sentences with a semicolon instead of the comma. With a semicolon, we do not need to include a coordinating conjunction. Number 2. I wanted to go to Birmingham, England, but we flew to Birmingham, Alabama. This sentence has 3 commas, and that means that the reader has a little more work to do when breaking the sentence down into its constituent clauses. To assist the reader and increase clarity, therefore, we should mark out the pause between the 2 independent clauses as more significant than the others. And we can do that by using the semicolon. So, if either or both independent clauses of a compound sentence contain a comma, we can separate the clauses with a comma and a coordinating conjunction. Number 3. The plane was late, however before we took off, I watched 3 episodes. Here we have an independent clause, the plane was late, a conjunctive adverb however, which is an adverb functioning in the same way as a conjunction, in this case but, then an introductory prepositional phrase for the second independent clause, before we took off, and finally the second independent clause itself, I watched 3 episodes. So effectively, however is being used to separate the 2 independent clauses. But if we use a conjunctive adverb for this purpose, we must place a semicolon before it and a comma after. Number 4. The series was filmed in Keighley, Yorkshire, Manchester, Lancashire and Birmingham, West Midlands. This example is similar to number 2 in the fact that the semicolon must be used here to mark out the more significant pauses. What we have here is a list of 3 locations. Keighley is a town in Yorkshire, Manchester is a city in Lancashire, and Birmingham is a city in the West Midlands. So, to separate the locations clearly for the reader, we should use semicolons. As the note states, we should use semicolons to separate items in a series when one or more of the items contains a comma. So there are the 4 different ways to correctly use semicolons that we're looking at today.